Alright everyone, I'm here to give you my review of the WWE WrestleMania Today show for March 27th, 2015. Um, I know I'm going to be a little bit late making this video. The reason why I am late making this video is because, well, I had some technical difficulties going on with the network. So that was pretty much why. I don't really want to get into detail with it. It was pissing me off though, so yeah. Um, I did enjoy this one, not as much as I did yesterday's, because one, there was no technical difficulties, but I think just yesterday's was a little bit better. Um, but let's talk about it. So, we get the panel with Renee Young, Byron Saxton, and Corey Graves. Um, Renee Young actually looked hot here, I'm not going to lie, actually. Um, and what does it kick off with? It starts off by showing us a Oh, I always say Jimmy Fallon by accident when I go to say Jimmy Kimmel. I don't know why, but I do. But it shows John Cena appearing on the Jimmy Kimmel show, and he talks about how he's gonna beat Rusev and become the new United States champion at WrestleMania. Um, he kind of makes jokes about it, but that's kind of what the reference was. Um, okay. Um, And then Cesaro and Tyson Kidd get interviewed because they're going to be defending the WWE Tag Team Championships at WrestleMania. They plug the Kick energy drinks that they were drinking, and they talk about how no tag team can beat them for the Tag Team Championships. And that was really about it. I thought it was decent stuff, though. They really made themselves pretty good. And they talk about how they're the most dominant tag team in the WWE. And they have new T-shirts. It's in the front. It has Cesaro and Kidd, and it has the Switzerland flag because Cesaro's Swiss, and the Canadian flag because Tyson Kidd's from Canada. And then on the back it says December 1st, 2014, because that's the day they became a tag team. And they talk about how 2 months and something days later, um, they became the WWE Tag Team Champion. So I did like that. I thought they were good here. Um, and then it shows a video package building up the Divas Tag Team match between AJ Lee and Paige versus Nikki and Brie, the Bella Twins. It shows that the Bella Twins were on the little show called the Diva Search. It's pretty much, I guess, like Tough Enough, except with divas. And it was only divas, actually. And the Bella Twins were on it. Talk about how they were twins. They were inseparable. Pretty much shows them coming into the WWE. Talk about how they're the glamour girls. They show them going to all these red carpets, being actors on Total Divas. Brie Bella talks about how she's married to a WWE superstar, referring to how she's remarried to Daniel Bryan. Nikki Bella talks about how she's the Divas champion, and everybody wants to be a Bella. And they talk about, too, that they don't want you to just think that these are all models. They do like to go in there and wrestle. They don't really help out their case, though, by talking about that, because they say how they talk about how how they care about fashion and like shoes. I understand they want to talk about that, but it doesn't really get your point across. And then she talks about how AJ Lee cut that pipe bomb in 2013 on all the divas. And I remember they were talking about it, and they didn't really get to have a voice, and they said that started gives divas a chance. No, that's not the case at all. What started it was when they had like a 30-second match on Raw. So I don't really know what the hell you were talking about there. They talk about how AJ Lee is fake. She has a fake spray tan. She has fake eyelashes, and she's been with she's used WWE superstars to get herself ahead. So she's just like a WWE diva, but she doesn't want to admit it. And Paige is just a brat, and she said that she had no right becoming the new Divas champion the night after her first night in the WWE. And then They talk about how they're frenemies, but Paige is just using AJ Lee to get to the top. And they say they're going to pretty much beat him at Mania. I didn't really think it was a bad video package. I just don't care about the storyline, really. Because it seems like the way they were talking about it was like the model divas versus like, you know, those nerdy divas like AJ Lee and Paige. And like, that's cool, but they didn't really do anything with that story really until this week. Not even this week, like on SmackDown. So I don't really get what they were trying to say here. Like, it just kind of felt like they just threw this story together. They could have done something good with this storyline. Then this would have gave the title, the tag match a story. I mean, it's given it a story, but it just kind of feels like they just threw this together, you know? The video package was good, just my point. And then Gruden's, some guy from ESPN, I don't know his name, breaks down the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he goes through certain superstars that are in it, like Titus O'Neil talks about how he took down Paint Manny, so why the hell shouldn't he be able to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal? He talks about how Curtis Axel's like a wild card, and he talked about how he'd never been eliminated from the Royal Rumble, and then he talks about how Ryback, so he thinks he picks them to win the Rumble. He pretty much is picking them to win it. He's actually picking two of my picks, so I thought that was cool. He knows what he's talking about, sort of. He didn't pick. He picked Titus O'Neil, but that's not gonna happen. And then Corporate Kane gets interviewed on the panel. He really wasn't that great. It didn't really seem like he wanted to be there. He talks about the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and all the superstars are going to gain up on Mark Henry and Big Show first. And once they get them out, they're going to go right after him. And then he said he's going to fight him off, play the defensive, and eliminate each guy one by one. And he talks about Hideo Itami, because we find out he actually ended up winning the NXT tournament. So Hideo Itami is going to be competing in the NXT, in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. And I think that's cool. I really do, too. Like, I actually was expecting Adrian Neville to win because he was in the tournament and they were setting him up to get ready for the main roster. But I thought it was a nice swerve to have Hideo Itami win. I don't think Hideo Itami, however, should go to the main roster because I think he needs a little bit work on the mic. But, and I don't really think he's ready to be brought up to the main roster. But I think this is a good opportunity for him. I hope he gets a good showing in the Battle Royal. Maybe if he wanted to, that would be kind of cool. And he talks about him. And he talks about how Andre the Giant's one of the people he always wanted to meet. And he says that if he wins this Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, he'll feel like that he has a little piece of Andre the Giant with him. And then they talk about the Randy Orton-Seth Rollins match. And Kane says that they brought Randy Orton back in because Big Show convinced him. So he pretty much says Big Show was gullible and convinced him to bring Randy Orton back to the Authority, which consisted of, everybody I just said. J&J Security, Jamie Noble, Joey Mercury, Stephanie McMahon, and Triple H. I thought that was kind of good that Kane said that. And then he talks about how what does he talk about? He talks about how this is a big win could be a big win moment for Seth Rollins if he can get the job done or something like that. And he obviously picked Seth Rollins to win this match. And Byron Saxton, I remember, went to ask him a question, and Kane's like, "Don't ask me that question." It's like he didn't want to have that question asked. I thought that was funny. Yeah, like I said, Kane really wasn't that great, though. I don't really think Kane wanted to be on the panel, though. He just really didn't seem talkative. Anytime they tried to ask him a question, he just gave like a quick answer. Like, it seemed like he just wanted to get out of there. He didn't want to be there. And I don't blame him, because this doesn't really fit Kane. Kane shouldn't be doing stuff like this. Kane needs to be the demon. Kane needs to be the monster. I understand this is like out the real world, but this isn't Kane. They're just ruining Kane. So yeah, then they show that Randy Orton Seth Rollins build-up video I just talked about, but I'm going to talk about it now. And they show Evolution, which consisted of Triple H, Batista, Ric Flair, and Randy Orton. And Triple H is talking about how Randy Orton's the future of the WWE. And it shows all his accolades, him winning the Intercontinental Championship, the Money in the Bank ladder match, the Royal Rumble, becoming the youngest World Heavyweight Champion in history, the WWE Champion, and the first ever WWE World Heavyweight Champion. And then it shows like Seth Rollins coming up when he was with the Shield, which consisted of himself, Dean Ambrose, and Roman Reigns. And then him turning on the Shield, and it just shows like the whole career of Seth Rollins. And then it shows the tension between him and Rollins. It shows the Authority taking out Randy Orton. And then Randy Orton returns, joins up with the Authority. And then Randy Orton ends up. And then it shows Randy Orton just beating the crap out of Seth Rollins after that after that handicap match with Roman Reigns. And then it shows Seth Rollins accepting his WrestleMania challenge. And that was really about it. I kind of went through this video package quickly because I've talked about the build up to this match enough. I don't really think I need to talk about it anymore. If you want to know my other thoughts about the build up to this match, watch the last video of the WrestleMania Today stuff, and then you'll know. And then during the WrestleMania Access, they played an Ultimate Warrior tribute. They played tribute to Ultimate Warrior. Triple H had his wife and kids come out, and they play a little video package for him, and they gave him like a trophy. And his wife, Diana, I think her name is, but I could be wrong, says that she thanks the fans for being there for Ultimate Warrior, and she said that the Ultimate Warrior loved this business, and how he played a big part of her life, the best husband she's ever had, and her kids' life. They were very important to him, and they thank she also thanks the fans. They didn't show this in this, but it's on YouTube. She also thanks the fans for supporting them in this time of need. This year, because obviously the Ultimate Warrior's dead. But I thought this was cool here. And I think it's just, it's still sad that the Ultimate Warrior passed away. And then John Cena gets interviewed. He talks about what it's like for him to compete at WrestleMania, and he says he looks at, first they go through his whole career, and then he talks about, and Byron Saxton was interviewing him, and he talks about how he wanted to, how being in the WWE, competing at WrestleMania is a big moment for him. He talks about how he's been the pre-show, because for WrestleMania 19 they had like Sunday Night Heat, which was pretty much the pre-show, and he was on that. He was the opener and won the U.S. title, and he's closed the show, and he's been in the middle, and he said that it's awesome to compete for him to compete at WrestleMania. And then he talks about his match at Fastlane against Rusev, and he said that he knew he was going to power out of the Accolade, but then the outside interference happened, and he doesn't say that, but that's pretty much what happened. And he says that he had him, and he's not going to complain. He lost. He's going to dust himself off. But he said that he just doesn't really like the fact that Rusev is representing the United States of America by holding the United States Championship. And he said, then he talks about how Stephanie McMahon said that competing at WrestleMania is a privilege, not a right. I'm not really going to go into detail when he said that, because I've done that enough. And then he talks about how the reason why Rusev said no was because he obviously was afraid to face Cena because he doesn't want none of me at WrestleMania. He talks about how he's looking forward to becoming the new U.S. champion because he wants to represent the United States of America as U.S. champion. Talks about how Rusev's been living in this country and just trashed it. And he says that he said that this match is important to him. He says it doesn't matter where he has his match at Mania, because he doesn't care about being the last match. Certain people do care about that, but all that matters is that you're at WrestleMania competing and you make it the best of your opportunities. And then that was really it. I thought that was good stuff by Cena. I thought it was a way to hype me up to see the match between him and Rusev, but I'm already kind of hyped to see it anyways. I'm just not looking forward to it because I obviously know John Cena is going to go over in the match, and Rusev probably will go nowhere afterwards. And then Dolph Ziggler gets interviewed. They first play the Intercontinental Championship ladder match video package build up, which screwed up again. At first, it didn't even play on time, so they had to keep talking, and the panel had to keep talking. And then it played, and then it just screwed up. So this is the second time they've messed this up. It's a good video package, just they've messed this up so many times. I had to go back and rewatch it on YouTube, and just to see the beginning of it. So they can't have any luck with this this build up. But Dolph Ziggler talks about how he's looking forward to stealing the show. How he's been overlooked by the WWE. They've been piling crap on him by making him be the cheerleader and then all this other stuff. But he's always overcoming and come back from it, and he's making the most out of those opportunities, which I think is actually a good point. And then what else does he say? I really don't remember because I kind of zoned out. Not that he was. They like make jokes talking about Byron Saxon's math skills. That's why I kind of zoned out. They made a lot of jokes. Some of them were funny actually, but what else? He talks about how he has he's building a little feud with Daniel Bryan. Said that they should have a match for the IC title to make it mean something again. He even says that Daniel Bryan could have had a better performance in the Royal Rumble, better than my 90 seconds or something. I thought that was kind of funny. And then they play the Daniel Bryan interview video package that when he had to sit down with Michael Cole on it was Wednesday, but it didn't come out till Thursday, and he talks about that the people he looked up to. He talks about how Daniel Bryan talks about how the Intercontinental Championship's the only title he's haven't held. He's held every other belt, and how the people he looked up to was the people that was stealing the show in the Intercontinental Championship scene. Talks about that WrestleMania moment he had last year, and talks about how he hopes to steal the show and he's going to do anything physically to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And then Dolph Ziggler says he wants him and Daniel Bryan to steal the show. He says he's jealous of Daniel Bryan because he's overcome everything that he's accomplished more than he has. And he says he talks about how he's been champion and he hasn't. And when they say, well, he got injured, well, he said like Daniel Bryan has some retribution to prove from last year. And Ziggler's like, what retribution? He won the title last year. And then they say, well, it's from after Mania because they unfairly took the title off him. And then Ziggler says, well, he got hurt and so did I, so they had to take it off me. So I thought that was good stuff. Then he talks about how Bad News Barrett and R-Truth have both been in the main event with John Cena at WrestleMania. Well, not at Mania, but at other pay-per-views. Stardust is working his way up the card, and Luke Harper's willing to do anything it takes to kill himself to become the new Intercontinental Champion. And I thought that was good stuff. And then Mean Gene Okerland just shows up, and then I got into it because I was not expecting to see Mean Gene Okerland. And then he interviews Dolph Ziggler and talks about how he figuratively wants to continue to climb the rungs of his ladder to become more of a success in his career, and that was really about it. I thought it was kind of cool to see Mean Gene Okerland though, so I was surprised. And then it shows the WrestleMania 18 Undisputed Championship match when Triple H beat Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 18, and he talks about how nobody thought that he could because of his injury, because he just came back from a quad injury. But if you want to check out my review of that match, it's on, I believe, the True Superstars of WrestleMania DVD. So if you want to check out my review of that match, just go on that. And then Dusty Rhodes gets interviewed, and he talks about how he wants Stardust to win the Intercontinental Championship ladder match, and he talks about how he wants Goldust to win the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal, and he hopes they win. Talks about Sting versus Triple H and how it's going to be Sting's first match, and how Sting never jumped the gun and went to WWE from the NWA. I don't know why he said NWA, because it was WCW, but I guess he was in the NWA too, which stands for National Wrestling Alliance, I believe. And WCW stands for World Championship Wrestling. And then he talks about how once Sting comes out to WrestleMania, the Hall of Fame wins, the money, the payday's not going to matter. It's just going to feel like a WrestleMania feel when he comes out. And then he talks a little bit about Macho Man Randy Savage and about what he did and the Hall of Fame class. I thought that was good stuff. Dusty Rhodes was pretty good. And then they pay a video package for the streak when Undertaker lost it last year. And The Miz, Natalya, Cesaro, Kofi Kingston talk about it. And Ryback, and they talk about how they were shocked when the streak ended. Jack Swagger says that it was like a surreal moment. The room paused, the air was lifted out of the room, and it was like time stopped when the Undertaker finally lost at Mania. Um, John Cena even talked about, like, before the streak was over, we always wondered, like, who would Undertaker face next, and Chris Jericho said that we would wonder if he would win or lose. So then when he finally lost, Jack Swagger said it became Brock Lesnar's year because it beat John Cena at SummerSlam for the WWE World Heavyweight Championship. And then they said that Brock Lesnar just went after everything he wanted. So it was just kind of a nice video package talking about the streak. And then that was really it for this show. I didn't mind this show. Just the technical difficulties hurt my enjoyment of the show because my network wasn't working properly. And I hope my network doesn't continue to do that. Because I am concerned because I still gotta watch the Hall of Fame, and then I still gotta watch Mania on Sunday. So I really hope that they don't have any technical difficulties because I just kind of want to watch the show without any. But other than that, that's my review of today's WrestleMania today. This was the final one. But that's pretty much it, guys. You can click right here to subscribe and check out my other WrestleMania reviews on this channel. And I'll be back sometime throughout this week to give you another video.